So this is the game that convinced me that people who like Genshin, Star Rail, any gacha, right, that I don't like, for example, aren't exactly wrong in their opinions, or I shouldn't think less of them, because I got addicted to an idol game. It was probably, I don't know, I think it was July. I don't know when the collaboration started, but the person above me, Kim Dokcha, well, he started the Omniscient Reader second collab. And let's just say I've been a fan of ORV since about the 20th Webtoon chapter when it released on Webtoon. So this was years ago, right? I think we're past 200 now. So it was like right when ORV really like got popular on Webtoon, right? And I think it was like the 20th chapter that I discovered it on when it was like still releasing before the fifth scenario, which is crazy. I'm a huge fan of the actual series. I haven't finished the novel. Part of the reason, I know what happens, I just don't want to like not have any new ORV content. So I'm like pushing off the ending and the side stories as much as I can, but I always have that there. And this game is called Seven Nights Idle Adventure, and I genuinely like it. I genuinely like it. So it's from the Seven Nights IP, and this is kind of going to be a transition video because I do want to actually cover Seven Nights Rebirth. It looks like a really good game, and I've been tweeting about Idol for about 2 months on Twitter, right? So I have really enjoyed it, and very recently I actually finished the game, quote unquote, because I'm in Nightmare, but the actual stages are just normal, and you could see here that I got to the end. It's 42,000 stages, and yeah, it's as much as it sounds. It took like 2 months, so it took a while because I was doing this day and night, and yeah, I ended up spending money. But to be fair, I've literally played the shit out of this game. It's the only reason I mentally made it through all of July and, well, now August. So to be fair, listen, maybe I shouldn't have spent it, but I am not regretting it, right? I'm more of a low to mid spender on this game. There's a lot of packs, so if you do end up playing it because of me, do not spend. And if you can't stop yourself, then don't play. So the ORV collab's about to end, but they did release Demon King Dokcha, right? And they released Su Young, and then also they released Asmodeus. So as you can see, I mean, you know, they're the ones with the most stars, which are the most dupes. So yeah, I mean, obviously I played for the ORV units. Thankfully, they're all good, but mainly the ones I summoned for were the ORV units, right? I did 38,000 pulls on Dokcha, 24,000 on Su Young, and then 25,000 on Asmodeus. Now, yeah, it's a lot of pulls, but we're going to get into that. I just want to kind of talk about the game because this is genuinely a game I'm weirdly passionate about. And I know they made a Seven Deadly Sins idle game off of this concept. This game does it pretty well. And once you're done this idle stages, which I think for free-to-play players would take between 3 to 4 months, right? I did it in about a bit less than 2 months. For you, probably 3 to 4. Once you get past that, you do very minimal things, right? You let Nightmare grind, and basically this is an infinite thing, and there's tiers, right? There's still stages, but they take a lot longer to do. You can't use food, which is a big thing because that gives you big stat increases, and every time you get an extra shard increase, well, that gives you extra final stats. So for example, I have my crit damage is multiplied by probably I think 1.56, so you get big stat bonuses. Nightmare is just the end of the road where you're able to get these elixirs, which gives you stats also. So basically how it works is as you get along, you're going to unlock extra slots, up to 15 full slots for your team. Now, every idle unit has a basic attack, and then if they don't do the basic, right, they're doing a crit attack. Now, you're pretty much always critting, because if you check it out, right, for example, let's summon the boss. You'll see here my Asmodeus has a base 104% crit rate, but then she gives herself and gets buffs for crit rate, so she's at 150. But you have to keep in mind there's also crit res lower debuffs. I don't know. Yeah, no, do I have any? I actually don't know. I'm pretty sure I should, because I have a lot of decreased crit hit rate resist. So if we check here, is crit hit rate resist, I think is 6% maybe. I think it's that one. looks like that one. So you'll see that you're getting crits most of the time. So mainly you're doing the crit damage attack. And then you have an ult that is every 10 seconds, but more recently, Jury made it every 20 seconds for this unit. And I do want to talk about these units. So it's about to be second Annie. And just real quick, they have a second Annie rate up where it's literally 11% for a legendary, which is very good. This is like a free banner, so I guess it was reset. So for example, you're getting these like letters, and you could craft pulls, and there's also different events that give you it. So I've gotten a lot of good stuff, and basically you might be like, yo, there's like you have to do a lot of pulls. 25,000, that's a lot of pulls. Well, actually, you're gonna get a lot of pulls. So for example, every day you're getting like for example right now 37,000 gems. That's over 300 pulls just for that every day. Obviously I'm at the end, but then for the monthlies, for example, they have a reset, but that's another 15k. So just over the month, I think from that you're getting 10,000 pulls just if you're at the end of the road. And that's the second Annie. So second Annie is seeming to be very good because they're giving a lot of good stuff. In terms of everything, there's a lot of actual rewards that it seems that we're getting, which is very interesting. I don't know if it shows, but no, I don't think it does. Yeah, it doesn't. All right. Well, the second Annie is definitely looking to be actually very good. And overall, yeah, combat is very simple. Usually more newer units have very high multipliers for the skill too. Asmodeus being the highest, I think, in more recent times. Was it Blanc? Yeah, Blanc 1150 is very high. If you get it off, it's going to be big damage. And usually they have a buff and sometimes a debuff, if not a DOT. And then the ult usually has a self buff and then a buff for the allies for more recent units. Pretty much all these units have that sort of mechanic. If there was one unit I wouldn't summon on, it would have been Nia. I think she was overall a pretty shitty release, but not going to be that bad for PvP. But I don't really give a fuck about PvP, right? It's a pretty free-to-play friendly game if you just stay with PvE and have fun with that, which I think you guys should do in my personal opinion. And you're allowed one High Lord in PvE, and the main like thing about it is that it modifies attack skills. So for example, Freya multiplies crit damage, or the crit skills and the active skills, which is your ult, where Ariane Hood only does active skills, which is the ult. Now, the ult is better for someone like Radius, which is one of the coolest designs. Him and Jury are my two favorite designs in this game. But why she's so strong and why you want her is because her base stats are way higher, right? So for example, her power is 600 million at max dupe, and Dokcha at red 4 is at 160, a fourth, right? So keep that in mind that the High Lords are way stronger in terms of stats. You got to consider a 5-star Freya is like looking, I think, actually she is a bit low, but I guess also her level, to be fair, her level, if we compare to him, for example, it's literally 4 times, right? So the stars and the levels on a High Lord give way more stats. So you want one on the team, and they're a very good support. Very good support. So keep that in mind. And yeah, basically you just do your stages, right? You do your stages, there's events, and for example, here you get 150 pulls, and like it said here, it's 77 times the normal legendary rate up, which is very good, right? 77 times, because here it's 11.55, where here it's 1.05, and in premium it's 0.15, right? But in normal rate ups, I think it's, what is it? It's 0.15. So yeah, it's a lot higher, like a lot. I mean, it says 77 times, but it means it, right? Now, besides that, like, usually you just do this. And I think for everyone, if you're going to play and you have money to spend, like, just get the monthly pack. But overall, don't get anything. But it's just you have to watch extra ads, which I think for me, I just don't give a fuck. So you get the monthly for the ad removal. And I think it's very livable with just that, right? But obviously you don't need to do it at all. There's Chaos Ruins, which gives you a bunch of materials every day, and there's an equipment dungeon, which I usually just skip. I don't even have the like energy to do, and you get like basically equipment every day, and you could feed in equipment, but it's not the most beneficial, right? I feel like it's honestly, it doesn't do enough, if I'm being real. Arena gives some decent things. I think yeah, weeklies are done, so I'm probably going to get in total about 300 pulls, which, to be honest, what's funny, I consider 300 a multi, because if you see here, I have 684,000 gems, right? I just consider it a multi, to be honest. And then there's passes, right, which overall, especially this one, is very good, because at the end you're going to get a free universal dupe on the free pass, and then there's a paid pass, which the value was very good for $10. And you can see here, like, I'll just do the temple, and we do get 2 legendaries, which usually does not happen, right? So keep that in mind. And I just genuinely weirdly enjoy it, right? The main thing that I found fun was finding which units do I build and actually invest into, right? So for the most part, this is as optimized as it can get. I think I need to re-put Ruri into my team, but I'm not too sure who to remove. I'm kind of waiting for Anniversary to see if there's another ranged unit, because for example, this unit, Blanc, wants 3 ranged units because every ranged unit is going to give her an extra stack of this, right? So she's going to get extra attack and crit rate for every ranged unit. So you want 3. So that's why I'm kind of keeping that in mind. But if not, I think I'm going to remove Melia because I still have Jury to give the other one. And now is the perfect time if you want to start playing, because it's second Annie, obviously, and it seems they're very generous for anniversaries. But for example, you would basically summon for probably Dokja. I think Dokja is probably the best out of the ORV units, either him or Asmodeus. Now, he basically has amazing debuffs, right? Increasing the damage the enemies take. Also, this, I don't know what these do. Now, what he does here is give crit damage to everyone and then also decrease their damage. Now, Sooyoung is decent, but she's kind of a mix of the two. She's kind of more gimmick and more PvP, whereas Modius is more full-on PvE in terms of damage. Asmodeus is better for damage, but Dokja seems to be better for support. Now, you obviously would want both of them, but Jury right now is insane. Like, what they did with her is crazy. She has a very high multiplier because she has multiplicative buffs for every dot, which I have all 3. So it's the highest crit damage or crit hit multiplier in the game right now. And then she has very good support, right? Her support is also crazy. So this is like one of the best teams you could have. The top 10 units are pretty much some of the best besides Rosie. It's just that, you know, Rosie had a very cool skin, so I'm like, why not get the skin, which gives stats, but it's not that important. Usually you could buy a lot of these normal skins for like these costume tickets that you get. Now, there is like an extra tower, so if you want to push it, there is tower floors up to 3,100, which give good rewards. There's a Mirage Tower and a Tower of Ascension. There's a lot of different shit, right? Elite Arena, it says it here. This is a normal arena. You have 10 units, and then in the Elite Arena, it's 3 slots of 10 units, right? You could just quick match. I usually lose because I don't really give a fuck about Arena. I just like pushing PvE, getting as high as I can in terms of stats and everything. That's kind of what I find fun. And basically, for the High Lords, how you get it is through this, where you get cards every single day for free, and then you're going to be able to get more. And this is why I'm saying after 3 to 4 months, because once you're able to really push it a lot in terms of getting High Lords, then you're going to be able to really do more stuff, because you only need to really focus on one High Lord. And there's this, which gives you a low chance of getting a universal dupe, but usually I haven't gotten one, and I've done probably thousands of it. What did I get here? Oh, fire. Usually I end up choosing this. But yeah, no, weirdly enough, I find it fun, and I think it gave me a connection to a lot of these units. Like, for example, for 7 Knights of Rebirth, Phi is one of these starting units that I think they're going to have rated up. And for me, it's like, holy shit, this is one of the best units in the game on Idol. And she's literally 3-star, right? In terms of dupes, I have no dupes into her. And if we check in terms of damage, just to like kind of show, her damage, for considering she's 3-star, is very good, right? She's keeping her own with a unit like Junhyuk or Undercover Nia without being duped out heavily. And that's what I want to talk about, right? You need a lot of dupes. You need a lot of dupes. I think it's like 75 dupes, but of course you're doing multiple thousands and thousands of pulls when you're summoning on a unit, so it makes sense that it would be that much, right? You have to keep that in mind. It makes sense. But usually, like, you're usually gunning for 7 stars, right? If you're not like mega wailing out, it's 7 stars. Now 8 stars does have advanced potential, but usually I haven't found it to be necessary. For example, on Jury, she's 7 stars, but she is overall doing the most damage in the team almost always, right? Obviously she's very good, but you know, it's like the dupes aren't that important. Will it be good to have her 8 stars? Yeah, but that's more whale talk. 7 stars is where you usually stop, which will usually, if you're lucky, will usually be about 20,000 to 25,000 pulls, which you're able to get very easily overall, right? As you go on, even easier. So do keep that in mind. But yeah, no, weirdly I have fun. And in terms of collabs, guys, that Marvel has access to a lot. Like ORV, Return of the Blossoming Blade, which is a very good webtoon, good to kind of just consume mindlessly. I don't think the writing is like insane, but it's still pretty good. Then there is Shangri-La Frontier. I haven't watched it. Supposedly pretty good. Hell's Paradise, which is crazy. Then Persona 3 Reload, which, like, what the fuck, that Marble? Like, what do you mean? And then there's Dungeon Meshi, right? Delicious in dungeon. Solo leveling, which these units are okay. Then there was Overlord, which is crazy, which I guess makes sense because Grand Cross also collabed. Then there was another Blossoming Blade collab. Then another ORV collab, which I'm pretty sure the Blossoming Blade collab units are still very good. Like this one is very good, right? His multipliers are still good, and he has good good debuffs and all that stuff. So yeah, these are the only units I don't really have access to. But overall, there's like a lot of stuff. Like all you do is you get the units you want. You get the units that look cool, right? I think these units look good. Now there's no animations, but it just plays for you, and I'm fine with that, right? I played AFK Journey. I enjoyed it. Now, there is cut-ins in that, of course, but I don't know. I'm just like, I enjoy the mindless slop. I enjoy a goal, right? So, for example, every day I'm like, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. So, for example, every day I do my dailies. I do the mine. I do the conquest requests. I get my levels up. So, for example, I got 3 million of that like material that you just saw me transfer. And today I decide, okay, Phi is going to go up to level 100, and then we level her up, right? That's all I do. That's basically all I do. But I like having this side game that I get to play on the side if I'm in the metro, right? Or in the subway, wherever you are. I don't know how they call it. If I'm just at home, I have 5 minutes. Reset just happened, right? I'm on my phone watching, I don't know. Right now I'm watching Blue Exorcist. So I watch Blue Exorcist and then I play this game. And since it's second Annie, I'm like kind of hyped because like I came at the perfect time, right? Every 2 weeks I had a unit, right? Dokja into Suyang, into Asmodeus. I was hyped. 3 ORV units, I was hyped as fuck, right? And then, well, jury's out, and now I'm like kind of addicted to the game to where every day I'll log in, 8 p.m. is reset for me, 8 p.m. EST, and then, you know, I do my shit, and then I'm slowly gonna get up my jewels. Now we're just grinding. So I get up my jewels, and then we do everything. Also, hard boss, this is another thing. Gotta do my insignia pulls, which gives like just some base stat increases. But I do feel for an idle game, it is pretty good. It feels very mindless at times, but I'm fine with that, right? I'm playing a fucking gacha game on my phone. It's a mobile game, and it's very much meant to be played mobile. I put on my PC. This is on my PC right now. Main reason, because sometimes, like, if you have food or something, like, you might be doing it for, like, 2-3 hours. You're grinding stages, because obviously, right, there's a lot of stages, and I'm number 18 in the server. Huge, but, like, there's a lot of stages, and if you check, only in this server, only 18 people have actually completed it, which is wild. So like you might be doing 1,000 stages at a time, or maybe 500, and you do a bunch of the food, and then like you wait for it to go. So you put it on your PC so your phone doesn't overheat, because it does put a lot of battery. It takes a lot of battery, so keep that in mind. And yeah, there's a lot of packs, so yeah, you kind of have to scroll down. But you know, if you have a strong will, I would say it's great if you want a kind of idle game. Also, if you love ORV or the other IPs, well, you know, it's a pretty good game to get into just on the side, right? You play maybe 30 minutes every day, and I think gachas like that are pretty fun. I enjoy it. It gives me goals that I set. It's just numbers on the screen. I understand that, but I'm completely fine with that. And I don't know, it's scratched the right itch. If you get started and you have a tendency to spend a lot, I do not think this game is for you. Please do not play. But if not, I mean, hey, maybe join me on this addiction. Whenever there's like hype stuff, I'll probably make like some random ass videos. But besides that, I just wanted to kind of talk about it, really get into it. There's a lot of pulls that you are going to get, right? And also earlier on, right, like there's 40,000 stages. But for example, also wait, what do I get? I'm going to get, no, I want to get this. Yeah, we'll get that. Is there anything daily? No. Okay, so we're gonna get this. All right, so yeah, let's do this. But for example, right, what I want to explain is that like where is it? So there's 40,000 stages, but in the earlier stages, there's like dices. So like every time you could do up to 12 stages at once. So you complete a stage, you roll a dice, you get 7. That means you're going to advance 7 stages and get 3,500 gems, which is 30 pulls, just like that. So that's why you're going to get pulls very easily. It's going to go very quick. Now we could get Phi to level 100. No, fuck off, man. Kind of sucks. It's going to be out in an hour. I could live. But yeah, so that's how it works. Overall, you're going to get currency very well, very easily. And I mean, listen, I've been enjoying it. I don't know how long I've been playing. The exact date, I don't know. Let me actually find that. And yeah, so I've been playing since it seems like about July 4th. I really wanted Dokja, okay, and I got him, right? Before, oh my god, bro, these are all very bad units, but then very quickly, I think the day after, or a couple days, 2 days after, like, you're able to get units quite quick. I wish I invested more into Radius. He's still, like, top 3 in the game. He's a very good unit, right? Radius is insane, mainly because his multipliers are so high. It's 2500, but then he has a 40 times multiplier on everything, and he still has a very high amount here. Like, his damage is crazy. He's 5 stars. He doesn't have access to some extra crit damage, doesn't have his potential, right? Also, I think loses out on, yeah, extra bonus damage rate, and he's competing with like the top, right? Which is kind of crazy. I think he's at the bottom now because it's just minions, but like usually he's in the top 10, which considering everyone else is like pretty much maxed as I consider it. Like red 3 is pretty much maxed, right? So Junghyuk, Aryan Hood, Rosie, Jupi, Blanc, Asmodeus, Geldius, Gelidus. I've always been reading it as Geldius. Geldius sounds better. Gelidus is ass. Also, this is a skin. This is how it usually looks like. Crazy, by the way. I actually really love the skin. And then there's Suyang and then Dokja, all maxed, right? But like these two are handling their own. Melia and Rangrid are next on the chopping block. The problem is Rangrid gives the multiplicative aspect with poison for radius, and I think also jury. No, I might get rid of Rangrid. I really might. I just hate it. But yeah, I might. But it's going to be for an anniversary unit. Like, these two are going to probably be replaced by anniversary units. And next on the chopping block is going to be Undercover Nia. And then afterwards, it's probably going to be Junhyuk. And then Phi, I hope to God I get a lot of dupes in this 77 times. Because during anniversary, they could definitely give more. So I'm really hoping that we end up getting a lot more with that. But yeah, I weirdly enjoyed this game. There's so much to do every day, and it's like really fun. You spend an hour here, an hour there, you get the units you want. Always keep your eye out for collabs, right? What I would do, where is it? I think I searched it up. So you go to following, you search up 7 Nights Idle Adventure, you go to following, you follow this one. And they're always going to post when there's new stuff, right? So, for example, right before ORV, and they had like a bunch of shit, there was also the, where is it? Blossoming Blade collab, right? So, whenever there's a collab, you always check out for that, and you'll be able to just stay kind of up to date for whatever they release. And whenever there's a collab, or if you like Overlord, right? That's kind of how I would handle it. But yeah, no, I'm just kind of giving you ideas if you do want to play it. This is completely unsponsored, by the way. I've just been enjoying the shit out of it, way more than I should have. If we count every unit that's red 2 or red 3 is 20,000 pulls or more, or 30. So it's kind of crazy. Besides, like, obviously some units like Rise is just a kind of a selection unit, right? You get them, there's like a legendary selector that you get a bunch. And then like Dokja and Junhyuk is, well, there's the collab summons, which you get a lot of for free. So I did 37,000 on that, which is crazy. But yeah, even if I can't farm gems anymore because there's no more of the stages, I'm still getting a consistent 50,000 every day, which is 500 pulls every day, which kind of lets me summon at least, like, if you spend like 10 or 20 bucks a month, like, you're able to max out 1 unit at least every month, right? And there's 2 units a month that they release, so there's that. Over time, you're going to be able to do a lot, for sure. Obviously, you're able to max out a lot more. Also, they give a lot of premium pulls, right? This is the premium summons, which have a bit higher rate, but this is the one you usually do, and they give a lot of these pulls. Like, I don't know how much I've done at this point, but to get to summon level 10, oh, it doesn't show you how much you need to do, but you need to do a lot. Like, just know you need to do a lot, right? But yeah, that's gonna be it. That's kind of it, right? It's an idle game. You just attack, the units do their own thing, right? You build a team. That's the most fun part, and you see if you could win. Right, you see what works, you see if you can win. If it doesn't work, you wait until you can level stuff up, and then you try and beat it. That's it. It's simple. But let me know. Let me know. Have you played this? Have you played the other 7 Nights games? That's kind of it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think.